it's all very well demanding the government get involved, but the reality in some countries is that this is a private company or a publicly listed company that comes up with the service. Here in the UK, I mean, you see the roads ripped up all the time and new cable being laid across the board, yet the service has not improved. What's the missing link here?
Well, I think you have to get the linkage between the technology, making sure that you have the right technology to build that infrastructure out. And we were looking at how we can change the economics of that to let it scale. Working with the service providers, I mean, they did a fantastic job during the pandemic. If you think about how the workloads changed and the traffic patterns, they delivered on that as best they could in that environment with that change. But also then working with governments and policy making to make sure that we have everything in place with those investments to accelerate and get that in the right place. So it's not just one thing. We need to bring those groups together to effectively get that increase in performance and availability. The other thing that was important that came out in the report is it's not just about throughput and bandwidth, which we talk about a lot, but it's about availability and reliability. If you're going to work from that environment, it needs to be on 24 hours a day, and it can't sort of go off during peak hour when things get busy.
Adam, I'm one of the rare beasts out there. I'm someone who lives in a rural community who has got absolutely stunning broadband. I kid you not, if I was willing to pay for it, I could get 900 meg. So I am a lucky person. But here's the thing, I agree with you. I think it's a right for all now as well. Given everything we've seen as well, and post-COVID as well, I say hopefully post-COVID, it is a right for all, like water, like electricity, like gas, whatever you're But the problem is, those utilities I mentioned all come with very, very heavy regulation. Is your industry ready for the heavy regulation that could come alongside if it became a utility, i.e. everyone gets to have it, but there's very strenuous pricing attached?
I think there's a balance to getting that right, and pricing is an issue. And when we talk about availability for everybody, we really want to make sure that a certain level of service is available for absolutely everybody. And if you heavily regulate that, then you might restrict the rollout. And if you look at in 4G and 5G with the spectrum auctions, did that accelerate the deployments or did that slow the deployments down? So I think we need to put things in place to make sure that the service providers have the ability to get the right business models to accelerate that rollout. And as you quite rightly say, it's a huge investment to dig up the roads and put the fibre in to get that last mile in. And we need to encourage that investment to make sure that that availability is there. And I think when we look at the digital divide between urban and rural locations, we know how important this is for rural economies. So getting that right and getting that fibre rolled out will have a huge impact on where the choice that people have, where they live, and how it will accelerate those economies.
Adam, in most things in life, if you take more of it, you're expected to pay more. Why, when it comes to the internet, should it be different?
I think there's a huge amount of innovation going on. I've been in the industry for many years now, and I think we have the opportunity now to go through one of those big transitions for the future of the internet. So the silicon that actually forwards all of this traffic, we've now got performance of 25 terabits per second at half the power footprint, which allows us to really roll that out in a different way. Cisco made the acquisition of Acacia for $4.5 billion 2 months ago, and that allows us to collapse the layers in the network. So we really want to change the economics of the internet. So as we see that increase in traffic, we don't see that increase in the cost to deliver.